So if you are sick of the potholes in your neighborhood or road construction or your commute, well, a new study shows that your annoyances are valid.
Your feelings are valid. It turns out Washington has the 10th worst road conditions in the nation, as we've mentioned this morning. And despite an influx in infrastructure funding over the last 2 decades, we're still dealing with it. Our Dan Griffin joining us live from the roads right now. And Dan, more money may be coming our way to fix this issue, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, there's already money being pumped into Washington State to try to get some of these projects going, because on any given day, you can be driving down the road and hit a pothole. You know, they're trying to fit these projects in between the rain, the snow, the ice, and it seems, obviously there's a lot of catching up to do. We're driving right now, as you mentioned. You can see we're here on the road right now, and this study shows in Washington State nearly 20% of our roads are in poor condition. About 40% are in fair condition, and about 40% are in good condition. So we know federal dollars from the Biden administration's bipartisan infrastructure law have been slated for projects in Washington State. According to the White House, as of November 2022, about $3.7 billion in funding has been announced for Washington State. Federal officials say more than 175 projects have been identified for funding. They say there are 416 bridges and more than 5,469 miles of highway in poor condition. This money is going to go right to fixing that. So far, they've announced about $2.2 billion for roads, bridges, roadway safety, and major projects. And in total, the feds say Washington is expected to receive about $5.3 billion over 5 years for our highways and bridges. Hopefully, that's going to make a difference here. So in comparison, the study shows that some of the worst roads in the country are actually in Rhode Island. I believe the number says about 38% are described as in poor condition. Wyoming, by the way, has the best in the country. About 3% of its roads rated as poor quality. Of course, you got to take into consideration, though, the population in Wyoming significantly smaller than what we see here in Washington State. For now, reporting live, Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.